Hey, welcome back to Pilates with Go Chlo. Today I'm going to take you through Pilates for beginners. So this is suitable for people who are new to Pilates, but also for anyone who wants a little bit of a refresher about some of the principles of Pilates and how to activate through the right muscles. If you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. Let me know if you like it or if you want more videos like this, or if you have any other requests or just say hi, let me know, leave me a comment below. Let's get started. So come on up to stand to start and open your feet out nice and wide, a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Reach your arms out to the side, make yourself nice and long. Reach those fingers wide, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, fold the chest forward and allow your fingers to just drape down towards the floor in front of you. Hold it there, find a little bend in both of your knees. Let that head drape down in front of you and then round the body up. Think about restacking from your tailbone and then restacking your low back, your mid back, your upper back. The last thing to come up is your head, and we're going to do that again. Big breath in, reach the arms out. As you exhale, chest folds forward and then melt that body down all the way. If you feel like you're holding tension through your neck, give your head a little shake out from side to side. Let it go. Let any tension go that you might be holding there. And then again, find a softness in both of the knees. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, round that body again all the way up to stand. We're going to do that one more time. Big breath in. Exhale, fold it forward, hang the body down, little bend in the knees, and round it on up, all the way on up to stand. All right, from here, you're going to stay in that wide stance, but just turn your toes out slightly, so they're out on like a 45-degree angle. Take your hands to your hips, grow tall through the spine, weight nice and heavy into the heels, and we're going to sit into a squat now. Think about sitting your hips back slightly, and make sure your knees glide out over your middle toes, and then drive through the heels to come all the way up tall. So we're going to inhale, sit down, exhale, come up tall. So Pilates is a lot about alignment and form. We want to think about what muscles are working. So for the whole class, I want you to really connect with your body and just feel what muscles are activating. Notice that in your own body. This is definitely legs. Think about pressing into the heels, but make sure the toes are light. Should be able to give your toes a little bit of a wriggle if you want to. But then just place them gently down onto the mat. From the side, I'll show you. You keep going. Hips go back just slightly, but really think about the tailbone sinking down into the mat beneath you. We're here for another 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Last one like that. Go down. Hold it down there. Now roll those shoulders open. We're going to stay low. Lift the left heel, lower it down, and then lift the right heel and lower it down. Now the goal here is to keep that pelvis level and just move, alternating through those ankles, lifting those heels up. Use the exhale to lift, the inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And you should feel some nice work building in those quads. Think about pressing a little more into your big toes than your little toes as you do this. Good, roll the chest open, back of the neck is long. Stay with it. We're here for another 4, and 3, and 2. You're going to stay down on the last one. Drop both of the heels and just do a little pulse down. Feeling that burn. We're here for 10, 9, stay with it. 8, 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up. Right, give those legs a little shake out if you need. We're going to come onto our sides and activate a bit more into the backs of the legs now. So come onto your side, stand with your feet about hip width distance apart. So you want to have about 2 fist widths between your feet, so you've got a bit of space. You're going to take your left leg back. It's going to take a big step back behind you. Make sure that left leg's still a little bit out to the left, so we're not fully on a tightrope. We're going to take the hands to the hips, straighten both the legs. Now the back heel is lifted, the front foot is flat. It's important. Good, roll those shoulders open. Think about pushing your left hip forward and your right hip pulling back. That's going to keep our pelvis square. Remember, coming back to that form. So both hip points are square forward to the front of the mat. We're going to bend into that right knee and just hold it still. Now look down at the knee. Make sure that right knee is directly on top of the right ankle, and you want to think about gently spiraling it out so that the knee tracks over the middle toes and it's not flopping in towards the big toe. So that spiral open, right? Now roll those shoulders open a little bit more, chest nice and open. We're going to take the upper body, we're going to hinge forward at the hips, and then we're going to lift all the way back up. The legs stay still. We inhale to hinge forward. We exhale to lift it back up. The back of the neck is long. Think about the neck. It's an extension of the spine. So it comes with for the ride. So your gaze should come down a little as you lower and then lift up in front of you as you lift through the chest. Now I want you to think about pushing into the right heel, especially as you lift yourself back up. So really dig into that right heel, because what that will do is it'll help to activate through the back body, the back of the leg, the glute muscles, your butt muscles, and your hamstrings of that front leg. Good, keep pushing that right knee a little bit wider. Good, keep wrapping the right hip back, the left hip forward. Oh yeah, do we feel it? We're here for 3 and 2. One more like that. You're going to hinge the body forward about halfway. Hold it there. Roll those shoulders back. You're going to take the arms, reach them behind you. Squeeze the palms in towards one another a little bit more so you feel a bit of an activation through the muscles in your upper back and those shoulders. And all you're going to do, you're going to swing the arms forward so they're straight in front of you, and then you're going to swing them back behind you. Swing the arms forward and then swing them back. And you should feel lots of work in that front leg. Lean forward a little bit more. Like as you come forward, think about the fingers reaching out in front of you, but roll those shoulders back. We are here for 5 and 4. Stay with it. And 3 and 2. Last one like that. Reach the arms back and then step yourself all the way through. Tuck your chin to your chest and fold forward just to let that release a bit. You can give your head a little shake, give the legs a little bit of a shake. And then little bend in both of the knees. We restack that spine, rolling up from the tailbone, the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. And then the head. And then we're going to do it on the other side. You ready? This time, reset. Make sure your feet are at that hip-width distance apart. That right foot is going to take a nice big step back behind us. Back heel is lifted, front foot flat, okay? Take those hands to the hips, grow tall through the spine. So think about that lengthening sensation through the spine, and then pull your left hip back, your right hip forward, so our hip points are square towards the front of the mat. Now bend into your left knee, just until that left knee is over the ankle. Hold it there, grow a little bit taller through the spine. We're going to hinge the body forward. We hinge forward, the whole chest folds forward, and then we lift it straight back up. So we inhale forward, we exhale lift. Good, hinging that body like one strong plank. That's it. Think about a straight line from the crown of your head, from your tailbone, and that straight line just hinges forward and up, but we're grounding into that left heel. Feel that connection. Push that left heel into the mat and feel that connection into your hamstring and into your glute muscles, your butt muscles on that left side. Good. That's it. Back of the neck is long. Good. Try and keep that left knee right above the ankle. It wants to come forward sometimes. Don't let it. Okay? And check. Look down at it. Is it moving? Make sure it's not. Make sure it's still tracking out over those middle toe, that middle toe on the left side. We keep it going. We're here for another 4 and 3 and 2. One more. We hinge it forward about halfway. We hold it there. Take those arms, reach them behind you. Now roll the shoulders open. Think about your posture. Palms in towards one another. Give them a little squeeze in towards one another. Back of the neck long. So we want to tuck the chin, lift the back of the neck a little bit more, and we reach those arms forward in front of the body, and then we swing them back behind. And exhale. Inhale forward and exhale. Good. Keep that hinge. Open the chest. Think about that posture, and we keep it going. We are here for 6 and 5 and 4. Last 3 and 2. Last one like that. Reach those arms back. Step it all the way forward. Tuck your chin to your chest and fold yourself all the way down. Give your head and your legs a little shake out. Whew, little bend in those knees and round it all the way up. All right, from here, you can step back a little bit. We're going to come down onto our hands and knees. So you can roll yourself down. Hands are going to come flat, so bend your knees if you need. And then walk the hands out. Drop those knees down so that they're right underneath your hips and your hands are right underneath your shoulders. Now on hands and knees, we want to spread the fingers wide, take up space, press into the knuckles of the hands, and think about lifting the chest away from the mat. I'm going to show you what's called a shoulder glide or a Serratus push-up. We're going to keep the elbows straight. We're going to sink the chest down, and then we're going to lift it back up. So we inhale to sink, we exhale to lift. And what we're doing here is a movement called retraction and protraction of the shoulder blades. And this is a really important movement to master so that we find enough stability through the core muscles around our shoulders, because these muscles help support our shoulder joints, our shoulder blades, and also our neck. So if you ever find that you get tight through your neck, this is a great exercise for you to help build stability for the neck. Great one for your posture as well. All right, we're here for 4 and 3 and 2. One more like that. I want you to find that lift and hold it there. Now keep your hands where they are, but spiral your elbow creases in and forward. So the creases of your elbows are pointing out in front of you, towards the front of the mat. We're going to hug the elbows in, lower the elbows down towards the mat, and then lift back up for a little tricep lower. So we're going to inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Back of the neck should be lifted up in line with the spine here. And you really want to wrap the elbows in. So you want to pull them in close to your body. Don't let them splay out to the sides. Good. And you can even, if you've got the range for it, tuck those elbows all the way down towards the mat. Good. Shift the weight forward a little bit more. Think about aiming your forehead just forward of the fingertips. And make sure you're breathing. That's the most important part. Inhale on the way down. Exhale to lift. If you're doing it the other way with the breath, don't worry about it too much, as long as you're not holding your breath. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one like that. Lift it up and then just sit yourself back to those heels and just roll those shoulders open. Big shoulder rolls. Good. You can give those wrists a little bit of a shake out if you need. And then we're going to come back onto our hands and knees. So hands again under those shoulders, knees under the hips. If you need to modify by coming down onto your elbows, if that's better for your wrists, you can do so. Otherwise, we're up on those hands. Really lift through the chest. Push the mat away from you. We're going to take the left leg and we're going to kick it behind the body. Now, you kick the left leg out. Now, what naturally happens is that left hip will want to open out, but think about dropping the left side of the pelvis down. So the hips are square. It's like you're balancing a cup of coffee on your low back and you don't want it to spill, all right? Now, hold that there. Think about pulling the abdominals in. Think ribs in, belly button in towards the spine, chest and shoulders lifted, and then you're just going to take it straight back in. Left side again. Exhale, reach it away. Inhale to bring it in. Good. The slower you go, the harder it is. It's all about control. You want to really connect into your body. Stay lifted through those shoulders. Really press the mat away from you. Good, and make sure that left hip isn't opening. So if anything, drop it down slightly, the left side of the pelvis, but make sure you reach that leg out all the way away from you each time. For 3 and 2. On the next one, reach it out. Hold it out there. Let's flex the foot, tap the toes down onto the mat, and then lift straight back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good, straighten that leg a lot. Bring your awareness back to your upper body. Where's that head? Is it dropping down? Lift it up like you're going to imprint the back of the neck onto the ceiling. Good, ribs in, abdominals in, chest is lifted and open. Good, for 3 and 2. One more like that. Lift it up, hold it up there. Let's point the toes and draw a circle with that leg, like the size of a big watermelon. Up and around. Notice what happens here to the rest of your body. It sort of wants to move around. Can you control it using your abdominals here to prevent too much movement happening in that upper body and through your center, through your core? Good, lots of work in the back of that leg too. We'll go one more this way and then reverse it other way. Big watermelons. Up and around. See if you can as well find just a tiny bend in your elbows, just so that they're unlocked. Good, lift that chest a little bit more. We're here for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one like that. Hold it still and just give me some tiny little pulses. Just 10, 9, keep it going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg all the way in. Open your knees wide as your mat, toes together, sit to your heels, and just fold the body forward. Let your forehead rest down, and just flip your palms up to the ceiling just to let your wrists relax. Allowing your fingers to release. Flip the hands down, walk it in, and we're going to do that on the other side. So lift yourself up. Hands underneath those shoulders. We're going to set up again. Make sure you're lifted through the chest. So really push the mat away from you. We're going to take that right leg out away from us. Reach it away. Now hold it there. Think about the right side of the pelvis dropping down to keep the pelvis square. Really straighten that leg. Lift through the chest. Good. Feel that in your own body. And then we bend it in. We reach it away. Good. Inhale to bend. Exhale to reach. Make sure you reach that leg out all the way away from you each time, really getting that full extension through the knee. Good, strong through those shoulders. Remember, if you need to come down onto your elbows to give your wrists a bit of a break, you can do so. Takes time to build up strength through the wrists. We're here for 3 and 2. One more like that. Reach it away. Hold it out there. Flex the foot. We lower the leg. We tap the toes onto the mat, and then we lift it up in line with the body. Inhale, lower tap. Exhale to lift. Think about reaching that leg really straight. So think about this sense of length now through the heel. Like the heel is really reaching back behind you. Lift through that chest. Make sure that lift is coming from the back of the leg and not from the low back. So draw those abdominals in. Breathing here for 3 and 2. One more like that. Lift it up. Hold it there. Point the toes. We draw big watermelons with the leg. Big watermelons up and around. Circling around. Good, nice and slow. Feel how those oblique muscles, the abdominals, switch on here to help you. They're helping, they're helping, they're helping. Good, for 3 and 2. One more like this. And then we reverse it, other way. Reverse those circles. Good, keep it controlled. Point those toes. We are here for 5 and 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Last thing here, we just pulse it up. Little pulses to finish for 10, 9, 8, 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Knees wide, toes together, sit yourself back to the heels. You can shift a little from side to side here, and then walk those hands out in front of you, drop the head all the way down. Flip the palms up to the ceiling, allowing your wrists to relax, and hold it there. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Flip those palms down, walk the hands in. You can flip the legs through. We're going to come onto our backs for a bit of core work here. So come all the way down. Make sure your head is fully relaxed onto the mat. Knees are going to bend with your feet flat. Now what you want is to find what we call a neutral spine. So what that means is we're just in a neutral position, a normal position for our low back. So for most people, we have a natural curve in our low back. So we just want to find that position where we have that little bit of space, that natural curve in the low back. Hold it there, and then we want to think about engaging through our abdominal muscles. We want to activate those deep core muscles. So this is in two parts. The first part is an engagement through our pelvic floor. You want to imagine like you're busting for the toilet, you're holding on in that internal squeeze and lift your pelvic floor muscles. And then at the same time, you want to think about this drawing in sensation of your belly button in towards your spine. Okay, now hold that there. Make sure your head is fully relaxed down. Let's rest the hands down by the side. And then one by one, you'll float the legs to tabletop. Now let's squeeze those knees together nice and tight. Hold it there. You want to think about the thighs sinking down in towards your hip sockets. So think about this sort of sinking sensation. Make sure the ribs are relaxed down. So there's like a heaviness through the ribs, like a heavy book is resting right there on the rib cage. We're still engaging through those abdominals. We're still pulling the belly button in towards the spine, all right? From here, we're going to take the left leg. We're going to kick it up and out to a high diagonal, and then we're going to bend it in, and then we're going to do it on the other side, and bend it in. So we're going to exhale, reach away, inhale to fold, exhale to reach, inhale to fold. And if you're feeling good here, you can start to aim a little bit lower on that extension, still alternating between the two sides, but make sure the head and the chest and the shoulders are relaxed. And make sure that as you extend the leg out, that low back isn't arching up off the mat. So we want to try and stabilize in that same position, that neutral spine. Use the breath. Exhale. Inhale to fold. Exhale to reach. Inhale to fold. We're here just for 4 and 3 and 2. Last one like this. Bend it in and then just pull those knees into your chest. Give them a big hug in and just rock from side to side. All right. Lower those feet down. Hold it there. We're still in that neutral spine, but now we're going to take the hands. We're going to try curl up. Interlace the fingers and bring them behind your head, at the lower part of your head, and have your thumbs pointing down the back of the neck. Now lift your elbows just a little so you can see them, and then curl your head and your chest up, coming up into an abdominal curl. Now as you curl up, see if you can still maintain just that little bit of space underneath the low back, and then gently press your head into your hands and your hands into your head. So you've got this cradle of support for the head and the neck. Now we're going to hold that position here. We're still actively engaging through those abdominal muscles. We're going to float one leg to tabletop, slowly place it back down, and then lift the other leg to tabletop and place it down. We exhale to lift. We inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Now keep going here. If this is enough for you, stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you'll float both legs to tabletop, and we're going to come into a toe tap where one of the legs lowers and lifts, and then the other one lowers and lifts. Inhaling to lower down, exhale to lift. The further down those toes go towards the mat, the more challenging it's going to be to control. Make sure you're still in that lift. Make sure the head is still heavy in the hands. You can also do this with the head down if you need to modify. Keep it going. We are still here for another 4 like this. We go 4 and 3 and 2. Last one like that. come all the way down, and again, pull those legs into the chest, nice and tight, and just rock from side to side. And we're going to finish with a nice twist of the spine. So take the feet and just place them down, and then take your knees all the way together and allow the legs to just fall over to the right. Good, let them fall all the way over, and then take your arms out into a cactus position. So elbows wide, palms open to the ceiling. Try and roll the left shoulder down and then twist to look over your left arm, holding in that twist. Letting your body just melt and soften into that rotation. We're going to hold it here. You're going to take 3 breaths. Deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And again, deep breath in and out. One more like that. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to lift up those legs and we're going to take them over to the other side, allowing those knees to roll to the left, and then take those arms out, palms to the ceiling. Roll the head, turn to look over your right shoulder, and try and roll that right shoulder down in towards the mat. Just let your body soften, let it feel heavy as it melts down into the mat beneath you. Feeling that connection on the mat. 3 breaths here. Deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out. And again, deep breath in. And out. One more like that. Deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth, letting it go. You can lift those knees up. Pull the legs into the chest. Give them a big squeeze. Lift the head up and then just rock up and down through the length of your spine, keeping those heels nice and close to your butt, getting some nice movement until you rock yourself all the way on up into sitting. And you are all done. Thank you so much for joining me for that Pilates workout for beginners. Let me know how you go. Don't forget to leave me a comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all of the things. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Go Chlo _Pilates. I'll link it below. And stay safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.